Fly Fighters had their weekly tournament series, and the results are a little bit surprising, although they probably shouldn't be. We have 8 Echoes, 5 Yasuos, 2 Teemos, and 1 single Illaoi. 4 total characters represented, and what's kind of going under the radar, only 2 fuses, Freestyle and 2x Assist. And this is hardly an isolated incident. In one of the most recent TNS tournaments, almost every single player was playing either some combination of Yasuo or Echo, and even earlier than that, in set and reset, we had a massive overrepresentation of Illaoi and Echo as well. So what exactly is going on with the balance of this game? I actually was not even going to talk about this, but I do think it is a little bit more complicated than people make it, and I actually saw a great tweet on the subject. I actually don't know who this account even is, but he wrote, "The more I discovered 2xKO, the more I realized how hard balancing will be. They gave some characters super broken tools, and obviously with a lot of love, but the game can't stay like this with Echo, Teemo, and Yasuo in their current state. You aren't playing the game without them." And I completely agree with this sentiment, because it's not just that characters do a lot of damage, it's that certain characters just have tools that are so well suited for this game, it literally feels like you're playing a different game if you are not playing one of them. So before we talk about that, I want to do a super quick tier list here. We have the top 2 characters in the game, in my opinion, which is absolutely Echo and Teemo. These 2 are just the characters with the most options. They do the most damage. They have incredible mix-up. Teemo has amazing zoning. I think they are just the top 2 characters. After that, we have the top 4 characters who you're going to see a lot, which is Ahri and Yasuo. I don't really think there's an order for these 2. I think they're both super solid. You're going to see them in a lot of top 8. After that, we have a tier that I've called Illaoi tier. I think Illaoi is very good. She's just not as good as the top 4. You're going to see her in a lot of top 8. She's probably the only big body character that actually works. She's really strong with other characters in tandem. She's a good character. She's just not as good as the top 4. After that, you have what I would call the viable tier, which is Jinx, Vi, Warwick, and Darius. Again, in no particular order. Good characters. They're well designed. They're reasonably strong. The problem is they are just fundamentally worse and weaker than the top 4. So basically all of them have a character that does exactly what they do, only significantly better within the top 4. So I don't really see a reason to play them, but they're not bad characters. They're reasonably strong. And finally, we have the not viable tier with Blitz and Braum. These are just not good characters. They don't do what they're designed to do well, and they have really no place in the game right now, which is why you don't really ever see them inside of top 8. I know occasionally you'll see a Blitzcrank or a Braum sneak in there, but it is very rare. So this is going to be a slight oversimplification, but I want to try to explain why these characters are so strong and why it's going to be difficult to change them by looking at how they actually play. So this is grand finals of the latest Tampa Never Sleeps. It was just this Thursday, and we have a Yasuo Echo team, which is absolutely an incredibly strong team, versus a Teemo Echo team, which I personally think is the strongest team in the game right now.
Such a fun time, especially if you're doing it with your...
So right off the bat, looking at round start, this is what makes Teemo so strong. Okay, you can do assist call into slingshot into tag. Now, if in some world Echo assist gets punished, which is never going to happen because it's virtually instant, the Teemo slingshot will still hit you, so you can just punish them anyways. But that's not even what I think makes these characters so strong, because as the game goes on, you're going to see what happens here. This is what makes Echo and Yasuo so strong. Any single hit on block, you are going to get instantly assist called into Yasuo, sandwiched into this situation, and now you have a freestyle tag 4-way plus on block mix-up that you need to block. Now you can parry. That's very risky because it doesn't cover high-low options and it's a very strict timing, but this scenario is every single hit for Echo Yasuo, because when Yasuo assist is called in,
that more people,
as we see here,
add to that
it immediately crosses up and creates this scenario. You do not have to work at all to create this scenario. It is burst safe because if you play freestyle, you can tag in response to the burst and you'll block the burst. It is unpunishable on block. You can just run your pressure. They have to block it out. Wow, what a shock. He got hit. It is impossible for Braum or Blitzcrank to have this scenario. Now, they have their own pressure that they can create. They can mostly do strike throw pressure, which is powerful. Blitzcrank has armor. Braum has armor that he can get with Unbreakable. But this scenario, single hit into true block string assist call, into tag, into burst proof, plus on block mix up, those characters will never be able to do. And this game is a two-touch game. There is no advantage to being a big body. You don't have more effective health. You don't have more effective range. You get hit 2 times. If you don't have break, you're dead. And I don't even necessarily have an issue with that. The problem is that certain characters like Echo and Yasuo fundamentally, with the way that their kits are designed, absolutely abuse this game.